Basili, level 3 QHHT practitioner. I'm down the beach today, doing a heck of a lot of grounding. I find stone, rock with water is incredibly healing and very, very grounding. So I tend to sit for a period of time just on the rock, even if it's jagged, I don't care. I just sit on it with the water, usually lapping at my feet. I'm a little bit up today. Look, I'm sure that there are a hell of a lot of you as well that are feeling pretty shit right now. I know with everything that's been coming up exposure-wise, I can't say I'm surprised. I've been plugging away at this thread for such a long time. I think it's the enormity that's overwhelming. The enormity, the extent of it, the insidiousness of it, the depravity of it. And just when you think things can't get any darker or uglier, they do. They actually do. And they can get far worse the more you view a lot of the shit that's coming out. I like to think of it now that the sewage has well and truly spilled over, and we're all neck deep in it. Whether we like it or not, we're in it. And we're exposed to it. So it's incredibly toxic for the system. Watching it and being in it. I don't feel that there's going to be any justice. I don't think that these people who are doing these horror things are going to have any repercussion or have accountability whatsoever. I think that's the privilege that they have. The privilege of protection and status. That's what it comes down to. I mean, we're talking about a cult that actually extends back to biblical times and beyond. I mean, it goes all the way back to maybe the first 2.0 human interference with our fake gods, and one in particular that has made an absolute mockery of humanity through enslavement and through DNA corruption. So not to enhance humanity, but to dumb it down and to corrupt it. I feel that our DNA is so corrupted that it's almost like it needs to be extinguished in order to reboot. I know that's going to sound pretty horrible, but as I said, look, if I've spent 30 years looking for the answer to my question, why is there so much not evil in the world? It's the raping of children that's got me baffled. I have never been able to get my head around it. I think I've written about this hundreds of times in my own personal journalings, and now here we are. And I actually feel like I've found a root cause of that evil, or that reason why it's so accepted. That's been the question. Why is it so, it's everywhere, and why is it so accepted? Because let's face it, it's very accepted. Yes, the majority of humans maybe don't like that stuff. I've worked with 30 years worth of sexual abuse, child sexual abuse trauma victims. Usually as adults, obviously, when they come to see me. And I'd say about 90% of my clients have had some experience in that. Usually it's at the hands of a family member or a family friend, someone that people rely on or trust. And there seems to be a pattern of similar behaviour across them all. When they come out and expose it, the first thing people do is deny it and rally around the perpetrator. And I see that on a global scale as well. It's the same behaviours. I think they did that back when George Pell, remember George Pell, when he in the church, Catholic Church, when that was all going down? And people were absolutely outraged in the Catholic community as to how dare anyone consider the thought that even a clergy could be pedophile, rapist, and yet they weren't. So it's the same. I see the same patterns. I see the same pattern now. There's a lot of people who are trying to come up with some bizarre justifications or denial. I think people are so in denial, they're just making up shit, excuse me, to try and, I think it's their head, their mental state can't cope, so they come up with any excuse that that person couldn't possibly be involved in it. It's just not possible. So they come up with excuses like, oh, they were manipulated, or they were hijacked, whatever. I mean, seriously, I don't see a lot of those people in power as being manipulated. They're all very, very aware of themselves. They're very confident, strong-willed. I don't see, vulnerability and childlike, victim-like behaviour. I see a lot of very strong, capable humans that are able to make their own decisions for themselves. So that whole narrative about certain people are compromised or, they're being made to do things that I don't believe that for 1 second. These people make a choice, free will. They make a choice, they're invited, and you're initiated. That comes from choice. It's not coming from, let's just be manipulated into this. No, okay, yeah, there might be blackmail. Blackmail goes along with everything. Everything. The fact that you're there in the first place and you know about this shit, but you are going to stay there because it suits your agenda or it suits your status or it serves you in some way, but then they happen to have footage of you. I mean, come on, wake up. You're not 12. These people are not 12-year-olds. They're adults, but they want to get out of it. So I'm not buying any of it. I think you should know me by now. I don't buy any of that, poor me victim thing when they're a perpetrator. I've seen that 30 years. I've seen that in the prison system when these people go to jail. They do the same thing. They'll never admit it, ever. Even when the amount of evidence is there, submittable to court, they're put in jail and convicted, felons, sexual offenders, predators, whatever you want to call them. And they still sit there and go, it wasn't me, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything wrong. That's usually the one. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just expressing my love. This is normal. The old, but back in the past days, remember, women didn't have choice in those days. You were property, slaves. So, yeah, of course, at 12 or 13, you became some man's property. And you were, used as whatever way. But we're not just talking about girls anymore. It's girls and boys that have been used in this crappy system. So the question is now, what do we do with all that information, knowing that they're not going to get charged, they're not going to be removed, they'll just stay where they are. What do we do with that information? How do we rationalise that for ourselves? How do we come to terms with a system that accepts abhorrent behaviour from grown human beings? From a STARSEED perspective, if you want to call it that, because that's where I'm going to go with this. I see humans as continuing behaviours by accepting them. And if you continue to accept and turn away and make excuses, you're just continually allowing that system to exist. Yeah, people are saying it's going to collapse, it's going to collapse. It will, eventually. Probably not in my lifetime. I don't think I'm going to see that. I hope in my daughter's lifetime, and definitely in my granddaughter's lifetime. I have seen the future. I saw it many years ago. I've seen 2 timelines. I've seen the early one with us, with a very destroyed earth, sad to say. But there is peace, because there are very small communities. We've gone back to tribal systems. Not a lot of greenery, I can tell you. It's pretty devastated. But the leftover humans are peaceful. So that kind of, it's almost like an Atlantis 2.0 experience. Then I see the Earth 100 years, maybe 200 years ahead, maybe more, I don't know. But it's very, 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 very sci-fi. It's beautiful. Humans are very different looking. We're a lot taller, lighter, more transparent. There's a translucence. That's it. Translucency around us. Quite beautiful. Buildings are softer, no sharp corners. Actually, it's very much like Singapore in many ways. There's a lot of that beauty, very clean. There are no roads. There's like highways between bridges between buildings that are float above the forest or the landscape, so that they're not interfered with. So that comes later. And there will be animals. The animals will do their own thing. They're not going to be used for food. There will be the kind of food as most like Japanese food, I think, mostly vegetarian. Some fish. I saw some fish, like raw fish. Very much Japanese, clean diet. But people don't actually have to eat. They're eating for pleasure. It's an experience rather than for need. So cows and sheep and that are just because they want to be here having an earth experience in that world. So not in this one. So in the meantime, we still have the transition period. This is the one that we're not sure about. We're all excited about the future, but we're not really addressing the now. So let's talk emotions. I think I've mentioned this in one of the last videos. It's really important to acknowledge the emotions that you're having. I think in the love and light community, the spiritual new age community, which I'm separating myself out from more these days, there's a tendency to avoid. And I think there's a grooming narrative, and I think I was part of that. I felt hijacked in that once I woke up to it. It's like another matrix that, if you're feeling emotions that are low, that are somehow lower level, lowering the frequency. But that's not the case. That's not true. The human experience is to feel emotion. The trap is not to get stuck in it, and that's the difference. You're not lowering into the 5D unless you're actually embedded in it. Lowering into the 3D unless you're embedded in it and you're constantly in a rage or constantly in grief without being able to receive yourself so you can move on. We're in a period of time right now where I think it's important, and I do apologise for perhaps spruiking that too. I feel like I was spruiking quite a bit of that for so many years, but I think we've seen the outcome of that. 6 years committed to the cause. As an envoy, that means someone who's down here on mission from another place. That's my role. I won't go into that in this story, but our role was to come here and help, and that's, a lot of people are doing that, not just me. There's lots of envoys, emissaries, whatever you want to call them, starseeds, on mission, trying to help. And I think we've helped to awaken other starseeds. I don't know how much impact we've had on normal humans, because I kind of feel that there's this real resistance. So maybe the whole idea was just to wake up the starseeds and get them woken so that we can kind of do what we have to do and then see you later. Get out of this planet, finish up, move on. Maybe that was the idea. So that all the starseeds finish up their karma and leave Earth. I know this is my last incarnation here. And I'm looking forward to going home. And on that note, say as an envoy ambassador that's come from the Intergalactic Federation. Now that's going to fuck with people's minds. Good luck to you. It's not that I jumped on the bandwagon. I've known it since I was about 8 years old. It's just the pieces have come together in the last 10 years. But I was asked recently to write a final report. And I take that as meaning the final report for the Earth human observation work that I've been doing. So reporting back, I've been reporting quite a lot over my lifetime, observing and reporting. and this one in the last couple of days was the final, asking me for a final report. It's got to be a pretty damning report. I'm not sure how that's going to impact the decision that's going to be made, whether that's in relation to Earth or in relation to humans. Does it mean that, whatever the bigger picture is that they're going to be following through on, and I'll be putting in my recommendations as to going forward what I suggest should happen. I'll get this feeling like I'm finishing my work here, and I can see myself literally through the veil, tidying up my desk, packing away papers, filing away, and finishing this report. It's like I'm getting ready to leave, and that may not necessarily mean leave physically, but leave the mission, and that could be my alter, who's been on mission as well, probably on another timeline. But there's several, but her and I are obviously working in conjunction. So I started writing the report yesterday, and the idea is to create it so it's a book. I guess the book has to be like a legacy here on Earth, maybe one of those remember back when, and like we do with Atlantis. And I hope that will stay in the Earth archives. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what the Galactic Federations want to do. I know the Galactic Federation of Worlds is infiltrated. That's military based anyway, and they were doing some dodgy deals, and basically the group were remanded. You either had to go with their agenda or not. So they were never going to help. They were never coming here to help, and contrary to some of the disclosure community BS that's going on, they're not here to help. They've done the work that they think they needed to do, which was removing the reptilians and the greys. But that's now left the others that are doing all this damage at the moment to come to the surface and take over. So they just filled in the space that was left, and there was no one to defer to. And I think in a very ironic way, by removing the reptilians and that, we now released the others to come to the surface. Maybe that was the reason. So my recommendation to you, if you wish, is to do a lot of grounding and to do a lot of clearing. You're going to have a lot of psychic attack, especially if you're focused on this particular situation on the Earth right now. Not avoiding it, not bystander, as in actually, whether it's vocal or action oriented, just be aware that you are monitored. So do a lot of clearing. I have to do literally a lot of clearing every few days at the moment. Lots of stuff coming at me. I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty okay with that. I have had some pretty awful astral experiences lately with some very interesting dark humans and hybrid insectoid beings. But that's to teach me to shape up, make sure I've got my team around me protecting me at all times, just like you guys need to. Call in the angels. I haven't worked with the angels before, but I'm calling them in. I expect the archangels, I should say. They're amazing. Archangel Michael's phenomenal. Just gets shit done. I love it. And Raphael for protection, kindness, love. The two of them are showing me like divine masculine energy, like gentle, beautiful, loving, kind, fierce warrior, but protective. And I think I've needed to see that and experience that, because every other sort of masculine experience I've had in this 55 years is very toxic and not loving. So it's nice that they're coming to show me that. I need that, and I need the protection. So call them in. They're showing up for people anyway. It's quite ironic. They're just showing up for people. So ask for help, ask for source help, guidance. I think your only connection that's true is you and source, not anybody else, nothing else. Everyone else is completely lost, I think. As I said, I'm removing myself from spiritual community, new age community, disclosure community, ufological community. Most of them are all with what I call the V2K, that's the mind, bioweaponry, biointerference, the voice of skull, technology through DARPA. That's military industrial complex. So they're, a lot of them are hijacked anyway. They're just listening, thinking it's the voice of God, but it's not. It's just someone, just messing with their minds. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Anyway, I love you all. I'm sorry I can't give you love, light and stuff. I still think love, light exists. It's in your heart. I have it in my heart. Love, light is my natural default status. But at the moment, I want to fire up. I don't want to pull shit out because that's what I feel called to do. And I don't want to play nice. I don't want to play nice for these nasty people. Okay. Take care. Lots of love. Here's the ocean again.